What's up guys, JP back at you once again, bringing you guys another video. It's Friday, which means it's time for another Top 5 Fridays. And today's Top 5 Friday, we decided to go as simplistic as possible, and we decided to go with Top 5 Zombie Films. Now, zombies are a staple in the horror genre. Every year we get dozens and dozens of zombie films. We've seen voodoo zombies, traditional zombies, infected zombies, big budget zombie films and low budget zombie films, remakes and sequels, zombies on TV, zomcoms and zombies, romantic zombie films, over stylized action zombie films, video game zombie films, dramatic zombies, walking zombies, and of course running zombies. Zombies on land, zombies on lakes, zombies on a boat, zombies on a plane, and even zombies on a train. Nazi zombies and ghost zombies. Also zombies versus a bunch of people. Navy SEALs versus zombies. Vampires versus zombies. Bigfoot versus zombies. Aliens versus zombies. Pro wrestlers versus zombies. Ninjas versus zombies. MILFs versus zombies. Cowboys versus zombies. Cockneys versus zombies. Of course, Abraham Lincoln versus zombies. Zombie sharks, sheeps, and beavers. POV and found footage zombies. Well, that's about it. Zombies are a cool subgenre. It's not my favorite subgenre. I like a very specific style of zombie film, and a lot of times I feel like filmmakers don't make the kind of zombie films that I personally like. There are a handful out there. Of course, I could make a top 10. I could probably make a top 15 list, but there are only truly about 7 zombie films that I truly love and never get sick of. So today I'm going to give you guys 5 of those with my top 5 zombie films. Coming in at number 5, we have a film directed by the Italian legendary filmmaker Lucio Fulci, and this film is titled City of the Living Dead. It also goes under the title Gates of Hell. City of the Living Dead is the first installment in what I guess is the unofficial Gates of Hell trilogy by Lucio Fulci. I have this Lucio Fulci collection here that has the New York Ripper, but it also has 2 of the Gates of Hell trilogy films. Of course, the first part being City of the Living Dead, as well as the third part, which is House by the Cemetery. The second part is The Beyond. City of the Living Dead is a very bizarre movie. It's a non-traditional zombie story. It's not like a siege narrative or much like anything that Romero really does. It's focused heavily on atmosphere and just bizarre storytelling, kind of a style over substance thing. Has to do with like seances and more of a supernatural approach to zombies. The story kind of hops around to different locations and is a little bit hard to follow. I've only seen it a handful of times, but each time I watch it, I pick more and more up about it that I actually really like. It might be a little off-putting at first because, like I said, it is hard to follow, but if you can appreciate the aesthetic of the film and the gore, I mean, the gore is great. Like, the vomiting guts scene is one of my favorite gore shots of all time. It makes me sick to this day. It's just, ugh. It's scored by Fabio Frizzi, who of course did a few other Fulci films such as Zombie. Just an overall really cool artistic type of movie, and it is my favorite in the Gates of Hell trilogy. I really like City of the Living Dead. It's definitely grown on me tremendously and is becoming one of my favorite go-to movies. It looks great on Blu-ray as well. Coming in at number 4, we have another film by Lucio Fulci, and of course that is Zombie, aka Zombie 2. And of course we have the Blu-ray here courtesy of Blue Underground, the 2-disc Ultimate Edition with the amazing classic cover art of the rotted, disgusting, nasty, dried out, gross, bad worm placement zombie here on the cover that is just iconic at this point, especially in the film when it rises out of the grave. Fantastic edition here from Blue Underground. Zombie came out in the year 1979, directed by Lucio Fulci. It is actually labeled as a sequel in Italy to Dawn of the Dead. That's why you get the little bit of confusion. What can I really say about Zombie? It's an awesome atmospheric zombie film, a little bit more traditionally styled zombie film versus Lucio Fulci's other zombie films in like The Beyond, as well as the previously mentioned City of the Living Dead. This one's a little bit more grounded. It's a little bit more of like a Night of the Living Dead / like siege narrative, but we have some amazing scenes in this film, from the very opening with the fat disgusting zombie. We have a zombie versus shark. We have the wood eye splinter scene, which is classic material, one of the greatest gore sequences of all time. Just so many great moments. We have one of the most iconic zombies of all time, which I showed you guys on the cover. It is just a fantastic zombie film, one of my favorites, technically my 4th favorite. Coming in at number 3, we have Night of the Living Dead, George A. Romero, 1968, the film that started it all. We would not have zombies today the way that we have them had this film never came out. Before this film, it was voodoo zombies, more mind control, just stumbling around. This is the film that made him eat flesh. This is the film that set up the siege narrative archetype that zombie films have used and abused for years to come. This film is amazing. It is a very important film. This is one of the most popular public domain films. Almost everybody has seen or heard of Night of the Living Dead, and on top of that, it is just a amazing, brilliant movie. There's so many things that happened in Night of the Living Dead that were game changers. There's so much social commentary in the film. There's so many aspects of the movie that have been taught in colleges across the country. People have looked in depth. There's documentaries made on this film. There's so much amazing things about Night of the Living Dead. It's both unfortunate and fortunate at the same time that when George Romero changed the title of the film from Night of the Flesh Eaters to Night of the Living Dead, he forgot the copyright symbol, which in turn turned the film into a public domain film, which means that nobody owns it. Like, we own it, the public owns it. Anybody can use it and screen it and show it and release it and sell it, and George Romero does not have any right to the film anymore, which was very unfortunate. But at the same time, I do think that it propelled this film into next level cult status, because anybody and everybody could use it, which means everybody and anybody did use it and show it in movies and show it on TV and screen it in theaters. It might not have had the explosive popularity it did had it not been public domain. Definitely the most popular public domain film of all time. I absolutely just love the setting of this film. It's shot in Pennsylvania. It feels like home to me. It's a film that focuses heavily on character development. It focuses heavily on the fear of the unknown and impending doom. So much I love about this movie. It's a perfect 10 out of 10. I absolutely love Night of the Living Dead. I could talk about it all day. Coming in at number 2, we have another George Romero film. This, of course, is the 3rd film in the first Dead trilogy, which is Day of the Dead. Day of the Dead, 1985. This is one of my favorite zombie films, obviously, but I also think that this is the best zombie film ever made. It is not my favorite, but I do think it is the best zombie film ever made. I have it on Blu-ray here, courtesy of Scream Factory. This is a fantastic edition, great special features, and personally, one of my favorite Scream Factory covers of all time. This film was shot in Pennsylvania as well. It kind of uses this underground bunker aspect to the film. Originally, George Romero had this much bigger film in scope planned, but could not get the funding for it. I believe a lot of the ideas and concepts that were originally intended for Day of the Dead ended up in Land of the Dead once he had more money and made his big sort of studio zombie epic. That was Land of the Dead, but that initially was supposed to be Day of the Dead. But I'm actually very happy with what we got out of Day of the Dead. I think that the underground setting and the paranoia works so well in this film. I think that the military versus the doctors aspect of the film is very, very well done as well. There's that conflict there. You have sort of rational thinking versus scientific thinking. You have certain ideas versus other ideas, and it just is a melting pot of ideas and beliefs and systems that are in place that people believe in, and them just conflicting with each other. I actually think that they handle the potential intelligence of the zombies very well. Bub is one of the most iconic zombies of all time. It just really nails so many things that I love about zombie films. And let's not forget, the gore is freaking amazing. We have Tom Savini doing the gore here in what I believe is his best work in his entire career, came in the form of Day of the Dead. I absolutely love every character in this movie for different reasons. It just works on every single level for me. Absolutely love Day of the Dead. I can't express it enough. Coming in at number 1, we have my favorite zombie film of all time, Return of the Living Dead, 1985. I have the Scream Factory Blu-ray here, which sadly I have still not opened. It is a 2-discer. Apparently it is loaded with special features, and I have literally never opened it. And in fact, I've actually never even watched Return of the Living Dead in HD. That needs to change immediately. Return of the Living Dead was written partially by John Russo, and he, of course, wrote or co-wrote Night of the Living Dead, the original, and it was directed by Dan O'Bannon. I believe at one point this was written with the intentions to be sort of a pseudo Night of the Living Dead sequel, kind of is spin-off thing. It definitely has references to Night of the Living Dead, but it's almost in sort of a meta way where they mention the fact that Night of the Living Dead was a movie, but it turns out that that actually happened, and the real situation ended up being kind of carted off to this new location. But of course, there's a lot of differences from the movie version and the real story. I remember as a kid just seeing them talk about that scene scared the hell out of me. This movie is a perfect blend of comedy and horror. It is dark, black comedy, but it also has great horror. In fact, when I was a kid, I didn't even pick up any of the comedy. I never even noticed that this was a comedy at all. To me, it was just scary as shit. From the opening where they're talking about Night of the Living Dead, which at the time I hadn't even seen, but I knew of. And then all the way to the point where they actually take one of the zombies, they bring it in, they put it on the table, and they talk to it. This blew my little kid mind. It was so goddamn scary to me. Now I watch the movie, not so scary, but I can still remember those scenes from when I was a little kid affecting me, and it still comes off creepy. The movie itself, though, is just amazing. I absolutely love this movie. This is one of a handful, maybe 5 horror films that I can literally watch over and over and over and over and over again and never get tired of. I think it is a perfect blend of everything that I love in horror and zombie films. It has great zombies. It has the threat level. It has the siege narrative. It has great characters. It has great locations. It has iconic scenes. Trash dancing naked on the tombstone to the SSQ song is amazing. It's such a great scene. This film is iconic as hell. I want to watch it right now. The Return of the Living Dead is amazing. I love it. I could talk so much more about this movie, but time to end the video. So this is week number 3. Check out all the other guys' channel in the description down below. They make top 5 videos as well. I hope you enjoyed. See you guys next week with another Top 5 Friday. Anybody who says otherwise, I just can't talk.